This little project came about because brickfilms.com was hosting a challenge to animate your finest shot. The instructions were basically, make a cool shot, maximum 6 seconds long, with a focus on set design and lighting. I'm not much of a builder, so I wanted to really focus on lighting. What came to mind was Prometheus, a terrible movie that had some great cinematography. I decided to build a spaceship interior with lights in it and then have the camera pan through it. There are specialized lights for lighting Lego sets, but I don't have any of those. What I do have is this string of micro Christmas lights. I didn't buy these came as part of some gift packaging, but looking online, they appear to be a bit cheaper than specialized LEDs. The downside is that they're in a string and you can't pick what color the lights are, but I can work with that. The wires aren't thick, but I tried connecting a Lego brick on top of one and did not like how it looked. To integrate the lights, I used these train plates for the base of the cockpit and these smaller Technic plates for the desks. These two lights in the hallway are just headlight bricks with the Christmas light fit to the back and a transparent piece on top. The Christmas lights didn't light the set well enough by themselves, so I added some windows in the background and used an old iPad to make space visible and add some starlight. I just set the iPad to never go to sleep and used a space picture I found online. It's still a touch dark, so while animating I used a pretty long exposure time and a fairly wide aperture. I wanted the hallway to have a really prominent point of interest, so I added this arch stack like a frame. The back of the hallway is lit with a desk lamp diffused with a piece of paper. The problem here was that I wanted to animate a character in the back of the hallway. I needed to be able to get my hand in and out in between frames and not have anything flicker or shift. I cut some notches in the paper so that it could be clamped down by a Lego brick sitting on a stud. I added a couple 1x1 plates to the top of the walls and finished the rest with tiles. This was over-engineered. I had it so the paper would be clamped on all 4 sides, but I ended up only needing to clamp it on 2 sides. Originally, there was going to be a science bay after the hallway. It was going to have this translucent rock that I found. There's even a hole in the bottom so that I could light it internally. But with 6 seconds maximum, I would have to pan way too fast for everything to be seen, so I scrapped that part of the plan. It was time to animate. In theory, animating a pan shot is easy. You just move the camera a little bit each frame. I've done them before, but this one proved to be a challenge. I clamped a meter stick to my desk to use as a guide. I built a little rig for the camera so it could easily slide along the stick. This is nothing special, it's basically a couple of slopes to hold the lens part and some bricks so it doesn't fall out and some sticky tack so nothing moves. My first shot looked like this. Oh boy. Yeesh. Here's what went wrong. In order to clamp the set to my desk and have room for the wires to run underneath the set, I put everything on a large base plate. My desk is not very deep, so for everything to fit on my desk, there was some overlap between the base plate and the camera's rig. I thought I could get away with this if the camera was riding on something flat. Obviously that didn't work. I tried fixing it with the video stabilization in DaVinci Resolve, but it still looked jittery. The only option was to reshoot. Also, minor complaint, but you cannot see the spot where I added a ladder because there's no light on it. So I moved some of the Christmas lights up there for the next take. Maybe some tiles will fix the shaky cam. That's what I did for take 2. No, still bad. But at least you can see the ladder and the coffee cup now. At this point, I accepted that I needed to move everything on my desk so that I could use my desk lengthwise, and the camera and the base plate could be separated. This meant that the meter stick was too long and I was definitely going to bump it while animating. I couldn't find a measuring stick the right size, so I put masking tape on my desk and marked out the increments that I wanted. This was very tedious. With my slightly new setup, I did a 3rd take. It's certainly smoother than takes 1 and 2. It's also too long for the contest, so I tried swapping part of it to 24 frames per second. It looks even smoother at 24 FPS, but the part where Greedo takes a sip reads way too fast. I tried editing that part, so it was also 12 frames per second. It looks okay. If this shot were part of a larger project, at this point I'd probably just use this take. But what if I do a 4th take where Greedo is animated on 2s and the pan is at 24 FPS? Spoiler alert, take 4 is what I entered in the contest. I just threw a couple of sound effects in and here it is. Thanks for watching! This is my first behind the scenes video and the most voiceover I have ever recorded in my life. So please let me know what you think. File any complaints in the comments. If you want to see another one of these videos for a future project, also file that in the comments. Bye!